just because the energy has been intense, okay? The moon just went into Leo, which is good. It's positive, it's full throttle, but I've just been like not in the mood, if that makes sense. Someone told me recently that February is going to be the hardest month of 2020, so not to say for me it's been crazy, it's just I'm ready for copacetic, which leads me to what this video is about. It's 7 tips to worry less. Now, I will start with a disclaimer stating that I don't know anything. Okay, so you're listening to someone who knows that they don't know anything at all. But I do know that nobody does, so hey, let's go. Tip number 1, for worrying less. Take time to relax, so whatever that means for you. For some people, relaxing is reading a book, going out by the pool, hanging out with friends, laying down in bed, taking a nap. My best friend Nadia, who passed away last year, she used to always tell me, like, girl, just take a nap. You just need to take a nap. If you're tired, sleep. And so I think it's as simple as that. Included in relaxing is finding stillness, Take time to meditate. Even if you have to force yourself for 5 minutes a day. You can watch my meditation video, which I'll leave a link below. That makes it pretty easy. I feel like it doesn't have to be so hard. It's just taking the time to sit in silence and stillness. Learning how to be gentle with yourself is a big one. As things get hectic and as stress increases, just naturally, it's important to be gentle with yourself, not, let the critic go in the back seat, as someone put it today, and just really allow yourself to be still, go slow. I notice for me, like, when I'm not rushing and I'm not running through lines and hurrying up with my order, I'm able to chill. I'm able to relax, 2, go out in nature. Take time to be in nature. It's a natural healer. It's a free healer. And nature, if you ever pay attention to how still nature is, it is unbelievable. And I know you know what I'm talking about. When you just get quiet, if you're out on a hike or if you're at a park and you allow yourself to get quiet, and then you can then hear nature get quiet with you. And that amount of stillness is insane. And that alone is healing. It not only listens to you, but it feels you. It reflects things back to you. Dr. Seuss used to go to Joshua Tree in California and sit there, and that's how he would get his inspiration for all of his characters he drew, is he would look at the shapes of the trees. So there's a lot of gifts in nature, and like I said, it's free. It's a free healer. And the indigenous people knew this. Many cultures around the world have always turned to nature in times of healing. And it will ground you. Nature is so grounding. Number 3, talk to a friend. Today I was like worrying so much about God knows what, nothing relevant. And I got on the phone with a friend, and I was so happy this conversation turned into like almost 3-hour conversation. It was so nice to hear them. They were like, oh, tell me if I'm talking too much. And in my head, I'm like, no, please go, get my mind off of anything that it's ruminating over, right? Because like when we get in a habit of not communicating to people, we can get really like self-absorbed. We can get really stuck in our heads. We can replay stories over and over. And just by speaking to someone, like, not only does it take the energy off of you and the focus off of you, you're being selfless to someone else. None of us are here to walk alone on this earth, It's like, why not share moments with your friend and learn from them? I'm sure they have plenty to share with you that you don't know anything about. My friend Gerald today, the urban alchemist, they were talking to me about so many wonderful things in spirituality, something so simple as saying, you know, how they were explaining to me how not everybody may understand their path, and they're accepting that, and they're accepting that not everyone's going to understand that spirituality is one of their key values. And that clicked for me because I'm on this journey trying to find out what my values really are, because that's tied to my North Node. And maybe I'll do a whole video on that because that's really fascinating information, what your North Node and South Node are. Because what your North Node is the sign that you came into this lifetime to evolve into. And so anyway, for me, my North Node is in Taurus and my South Node is Scorpio. So the key elements that I need to evolve in this lifetime for my being is Taurus. And for Taurus, there's a lot around finding out what your values are. You know, putting your values above what others may value, and not to say that in a narcissistic way, but really knowing what your values are. What, you know, I have to constantly ask myself, like, what do I value? And so when the Urban Alchemist said that spirituality is one of their values, that clicked for me. I could relate, I could connect, and it was like a light bulb went off, and it was a real deep connection, you know? And that alone helped me worry less. Listening to their voice was refreshing. That helped me worry less. So definitely talk to a friend. Occupy your mind with beautiful, resourceful energy, amazing energy that's all around you. I mean, there's so many amazing human beings. It takes nothing to pick up the phone and be like, hey, how are you doing? Number 4, breathe. This is a really tricky one. How often do you find yourself and realize that you are not breathing? How often do you find yourself and realize, wow, I have not taken a deep breath. I haven't sighed in such a long time. I find that a lot for myself, and what I'm learning to do is look at that as an opportunity. So it's not a chance to really beat myself up over it, to say, oh, why am I not breathing enough? Why am I not breathing? You know, I need to breathe more and like beat myself up over it. Instead, it's more of, I was not breathing. That's a cue. Okay, now I can start breathing. Now I can remember to breathe, even if it's just a, like, our society does not teach us to sigh. You know, sighing is so important. One of my all-time favorite yoga classes, and even when I'm in my mat in my room doing my yoga, it's when I allow myself to really sigh and just let it all out. It can be a little intense to do that, but I think we all need it, you know? So many of us go on throughout the day just not sighing and not releasing all of this pent-up energy, not only from ourselves, but I believe all of us are empaths. I mean, it's 2020. So many people are waking up now. You can't tell me. I mean, they feel things. People feel things. So you can't tell me that you're not taking on energy from other people. We're all energy sensitive. So sighing that out is a huge release. And not only breathing, so tied to breathing, I will also suggest shaking, okay? If you need to shake your body to get tension out, to get stress out, do what your body's like begging for you to do. Breathing is the natural one. That's the one that, there we go, you see? Like, that felt so relieving. But anyway, breathing is really natural, and it's the one that it's really a gift. If we can learn to actually breathe moment to moment every day, I truly believe that we would be a lot more worry-free. I think we would be a lot more stress-free, more kind to others even, because there's less pent-up energy. There's less things to worry about. 5, pay attention to signs, okay? Pay attention to synchronicities. You know, like, I was at Whole Foods today and I was looking at this thing that said smart, and the guy behind me was like, that is such a smart idea. And he was talking to the woman in front of him. And I was just like, oh my gosh, if this is not synchronistic, I don't know what is. It really made me feel like, okay, there's something else besides me. There's something else that I have no control over that is orchestrating this moment right now. And it's making me feel really safe, you know? So I think it's really important to pay attention to signs, because it not only makes you feel safe, but it shows you that you're not alone. It shows you that you're on the right path at the right time. You're right where you need to be. Now, again, like that's another thing our society doesn't teach us. It's like go, 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 hustle, bustle, live the American dream on the way to capitalism, which gets you nowhere. Look at where we're at right now with where capitalism brought us, colonialism. My list can go on, but point is, pay attention to signs because even if you're an atheist, okay, you at some level from your higher intelligence can understand that there is higher intelligence around you operating and co-creating with you. So you're not creating your reality alone. I do not believe that you 100% create your reality. I think things can be destined, things are fated, and things are being interwoven in every single living moment. Like moments are so alive and so rich. The present moment, which brings me to, being present and trying to be present, which breathing helps with doing, but also paying attention to signs, because you really can't notice the signs if you're not being present. If you're just like ruminating in your mind over like bills and, oh, like this person really stressed me out, or that drama filled incident, you can't really see, for example, that incident that happened to me in Whole Foods today. It was really subtle, really quick. It's almost like I had to be sharp. And that level of sharpness and attunement to what is in the moment can't happen if you're busy worrying. So being open is a big part of, I believe, of paying attention to the signs. And just the fact of knowing that there's a higher power or there's something else orchestrating with you and co-creating with you takes some of the pressure off. It really does. It lets you know, like, the whole, what was that prayer called? I know you know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know. I'm going to butcher it, but it starts with an S. Anyway, it's the prayer that says, Lord, grant me the serenity prayer. Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change and change the things I can, basically. So understanding that you can't control everything. People who think they can are psychopaths, sociopaths, and it's just unrealistic. I don't want to get started on that, but that's that. Pay attention to the signs, be open to the messages the universe is revealing to you, because even in picking up a phone to call a friend, there can be so many messages in just that alone, and that could be something that's being orchestrated by the universe. You might not know why this person just dropped into your head, and you're like, I should call them to see how that person's doing. That's straight up like spirit guides putting that info in your head, but that's a whole other topic. I need to write this down because that's definitely a video I want to record on, is how do you listen to your spirit guides. And that's definitely something I'm still developing, and I've been doing this for a couple of years now, but it's still developing, and it's something that, it's a tool that we all have access to, and there's a lot I could share about that. But yeah, just pay attention to those keys you get, those signs you get of who to call, when to call, what's going on, what billboard just stuck out to you. Not to say that like every single billboard you see is a sign, but you'll know. You'll start to know what feels like a sign, what doesn't. And then 6, dance, okay? I just spent like 40 minutes in my car blasting my music, and I'm talking about getting it, like with my soul, like I've been listening to a lot of Money Man lately. I just like the way he jumps on the beat. You feel me? And like for me, I need to let loose. Like my soul gets to a point where it's like, okay, you've been bottling up all this stress, all this worry. It's time now to just let it go. And I think personally one of the best ways to do that is to dance. I mean, babies come into this world dancing and they're just like a few months old. If that's not natural and healing, and the serotonin that gets released while you are dancing, scientifically it's really beneficial. And I feel like for me personally, it's a need that I have for when I start worrying a lot. And it doesn't have to be dancing, it's just any form of letting loose. Let your soul flow. You can be creative. I'm getting back into painting right now, so I'm really excited. Stay tuned because I will have my art on clothing. I've been lollygagging with that a little bit, but you know, and it's not even like for it to be good. It's not even for a reaction per se. Like dancing doesn't have to be for like, oh, how are people gonna look at me now that I'm dancing, or how does this look if I paint or if I draw. Like, no, it's an expression. But in that expression, you're letting out, and it's a release. And then 7, and before I get to 7, I'll say, like, even in this video right now, like, I was freaking like fighting. I didn't want to do it. I was trying to come up with every excuse for why I didn't have to record this. I wanted to go paint right now, which I'll do in a second, but it's like, listen to your soul, because that is a form of expressing. Like me right now recording this video is a form of me expressing. As much as I fight with it sometimes, I know that it makes my soul happy, and I'm gonna do what my soul wants, because that's the way I'm gonna find happiness, you know? And that's the way I'm gonna worry less, honestly, and be in alignment with my higher self. One of the mantras that I recite pretty much every day, and it's on like my Instagram and stuff, and it's gonna be in my book. You can find my Instagram at VanessaSoulXO, but basically on there, one of the mantras I say every day is, it's been a minute since I've said it, I'm guilty, but it's, may everything I think, say, do, and feel, okay, be in perfect alignment with my higher self, and for my highest good and the highest good of all. Okay, so I truly believe that by listening to your soul, you can attain that. And I'll say it one more time, because I said that a little chopped up as I was trying to recall it. But may everything I think, say, do, and feel be in perfect alignment with my higher self for my highest good and the highest good of all. So it's not for selfish gain, and it's not for the gain of like lower frequency Vanessa, okay? It's more in alignment with what my higher self came here to do. And your soul knows that. Your soul knows every single bit of what your vision looks like, what the outcome looks like, what makes you sing, what makes your heart sing. And that's really where you want to be. Or at least I know I do. And the final one that I'll give, the final tip to worrying less, is just fuck it, okay? Like literally just fuck it. Balls out, fuck it. Like throw the book. Don't give a fuck. Really. Do you ever get to these moments, to these points when you're just like, I am so stressed out to the point where I don't care anymore. Straight up. Sometimes I'm just like, what? I just start chilling. Like hard. Peace and love. I'm not even tripping. Because sometimes like it's like that. Sometimes like the worry is so real that you're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna let it go out the window. All this worrying, I'm just going to not think about it anymore, and I'm gonna be on some chill shit. And I don't even like cursing like that. Right now I'm not supposed to curse for my initiation that I'm doing. But yeah, that's the whole thing. It's just that having that attitude where you just let it go, you let the stress go, and you don't even trip anymore. You're not even caring anymore. You're just on some, bruh, I don't have time. I don't have time to care. I don't have time to worry. I don't have time to think about what you think about me at this moment. Case in point, like a lot of times I record these videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, what are people gonna think? Or is it bad? Is it good? And like, I just can't care. I really can't. That's not gonna help me. That's not gonna help anyone. These videos help, or hopefully they help someone. But that defeats the whole purpose. It doesn't even matter. And that's just for like every day. Like I can go into work and like tell myself that I'm just over it. I'm over the BS. I'm over the worrying. I'm over the stress. So I'm just going to chill. And that's that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Again, I'll definitely do one on spirit guides, and then I'll go back and listen to what I mentioned earlier that I said that I would also record on next time. Because lately I've been looking for topics. That has been one thing that has been not stressing me out, but just like, I don't know what to talk about. But then you just get on here and do a video like this where it's like, you know what? I started off like, dude, I really don't know anything. And I really don't. That right there is that whole like F it. That F it attitude. And I keep saying right now, which normally I'm good about not doing, but right now I'm about to chill. I'm about to listen to some music, burn some incense, okay? And paint. I'm going to paint. And I'm going to enjoy it. I'll show you my painting really quick. Hold on. So I did this, like, I finished it last night. And this is from, like, months ago. I started months ago, put it down for, like, a bunch of months, okay? And then, here. And you know what? Like, it feels good. It feels really good. So good that I have like 5 more canvases that are blank, ready to just go ham on. And yeah, just, you know, kind of going with the flow and not beating myself up. I know this was a longer video and it was pretty impromptu, but I'm happy I did it. And yeah, thanks for listening. Peace and love.